Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause.
Hello. Hi guys, my name is Agrim Nagrani. I am the advocate from the Graph protocol and I am part of the Graph Foundation. So first of all, I would like to thank you for being here and I hope you enjoyed the ETHTaipei which started from 21st till 23rd and then the conference for 2 days. Thank you guys for being here. So I will be starting with sharing info about the blockchain data indexing and data querying using the Graph. So basically the Graph protocol has created some of the customized APIs known as subgraphs which are being currently used to extract data from the blockchain. So I hope everyone here knows what is Web3 and this is the reason exactly which I believe everyone is here. So as we all know it's a new platform for decentralized applications or dApps. So as we are entering the world of Web3 decentralization, we believe that we should be able to get the decentralized permissionless data which we can trust and is more secure and transparent. So for this purpose, the Graph has developed a protocol for which I will be further sharing the information. Now coming to the pillars of Web3. So starting with the first one, we consider one of the most main pillar of Web3 is the decentralized Web3 tech stack. So as we all know, for any kind of technology to lay the foundation or to scale it, we need a strong tech stack. In Web3, decentralization is the thing. So we have a tech stack in which we include Graph protocol as the foundation layer in the data infrastructure, over which we are building dApps. Now coming towards the second is the incentives during behavior and regulated by the code. So basically the thing is ki for adoption of any new technology, we need to create some kind of incentivized mechanism so that we can drive the adoption of that particular technology and regulate the code. Coming next is the group consensus to make changes that affect the world. Now we are building a decentralized world. So everyone is going to have the power to vote in the community and take participation in the consensus mechanism. This makes us important and equal contributor as well as provide ownership in the Web3 space. As I mentioned, ownership and control. Now coming for the accessibility for the world. As we consider ourselves as owner of the particular project, or you can say of the technology, we will easily be able to access that as we are contributing in it and controlling the data which we are providing. Next is the blockchains, DAOs, DeFi, NFT, Metaverse and many much more, which we will further be starting with. Coming to blockchains. So this is a basic slide. I hope everyone is aware about what blockchain is, as it's a ledger in which we store all the transactions and you can say it like a digital ledger. And here are some of the most used blockchains in the world of Ethereum, Arbitrum, Avalanche and Phantom. And you can consider them as the open operating systems in which you will be building dApps. So now coming to the space in Web3, one of the most important domain which everyone is focusing on currently is the DeFi, decentralized finance. So why exactly we need the decentralized finance ecosystem is right now we are heavily dependent on banks and current regulators for all our operations related to the finances. So decentralized finance will ensure that we need not to rely on the particular traditional bank or a centralized authority to make transactions, to withdraw funds, deposit funds, or to do the cross-border payments. This is one of the most important reasons we are focusing to grow the grow decentralized ecosystem. Then another is key right now, as we all have heard of the scams of Silvergate Bank, Silicon Valley, and various other banking ecosystems. So there are scams being happening, and where individuals are losing their assets. This has been happening all around the globe, in various regions and various different time zones, as well as for various periods. It has also been happening in India as well. So now the thing is ki why to give a particular asset for anyone else to keep the custody for? Why not we should hold the particular custody for an asset? So DeFi helps us with that. We can hold the custody for our own assets. Now, yeah, definitely it will make sure that we are our own bank. Coming with that, some of the common DeFi projects are the Uniswap, Aave, USDC, Synthetics, and Dodo. I hope you must be aware of USDC. It's a stable coin which we generally use. Then Uniswap, it's a DeFi-based aggregator and exchange which is being used for swapping your tokens. Now, one more interesting thing we will be talking about is the DAOs. So DAOs play a very important role while we talk about Web3 ecosystem or community. DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organizations. So now what exactly DAO is? Whenever you talk about a community, there are some kind of regulations or governance we need to run that particular community. So now DAO will support us with that. Now what DAO does is through DAO we can create a set of governance rules through which you will be able to contribute efficiently in the ecosystem with equal voting rights depending upon your share in that particular Web3 project. So this will also enable you with the global entry in the ecosystem, because for DAO you need not to be a particular citizen for any single country. You can be part of the DAO or that community from anywhere around the world. And again, in DAO, there is the thing for identity. You need not to know the other participants to be part of the DAO. In community, our data is shared with everyone, our KYC is there. But in DAO, we can be part of the DAO, we can stake our tokens and take part without knowing anyone that we are part of the community. So now definitely rules are regulated by the code of conduct. We have set certain rules through which we control the complete DAO mechanism and community, and this makes sure that we are smoothly running the Web3 project as well as the community. So now DAO has several advantages. One of the best advantages is you can easily access your vote of power and make sure that whatever is happening in the community, whatever decision is being made, that is right or wrong, you have the equal power to vote for that decision, and this will impact the particular Web3 project a lot in future, maybe for growing it, scaling it, or whatever is the purpose. Some of the common Web3 projects in DAO are the DAO Stack, Molosh, BitDAO, BetterDAO. Graph has its own DAO as well called the Graphs Advocate DAO, for which I will be further sharing the information. Now another which thing you will be considering most in the NFT space is the Web3 space is the NFTs. So NFTs are the non-fungible tokens, as we all know. But is it only the art piece that we have collected, or is it only the JPEGs? So, or is it only the sense of, say, standards that you want to bring up? No, it's not like that. Basically, NFTs will make sure that you are making the ecosystem quite genuine as well as more secured and rightful for the community to use. NFTs are going to disrupt the market of the music industry, art industry, as well as the real world assets and services. In real world, there are various Web3 projects in real estate which are involving the NFTs in fractionalization terms. Then there are some music companies which are using NFTs for owning right purposes. Now coming to your own custodian thing. So NFTs make sure that you are the own custodian of your particular asset that you are owning. And then definitely it's related to verified ownership, as these are stored on the blockchain. Also, NFTs are being used to prove the authenticity of that particular piece of asset, whether it's artwork, music album, movie thing, or any kind of, you can say, digital collectible which you are using. This way you will make sure that the particular NFT is stored on a blockchain and it is immutable, so you can own it and you can verify the authenticity. This is one of the greatest use cases which everyone is exploring these days, and it also involves the metaverse thing. So metaverse is one of the largest expected industry to grow by 2030, I believe, for $5 to $6 trillion, and where NFTs will be the ones which will be involved for trading the assets. Yeah. Now coming to indexing all the world's data. So here we will be discussing what exactly the graph protocol does and how it is helping the industry or the Web3 ecosystem or blockchain data to be extracted, indexed, and queried so that it's accessible for the users. So as we discussed, what is graph protocol? So basically, graph protocol is a protocol which is particularly being used to extract data from the blockchain. Now as we can see that these all our gems are mixed together in a single particular, say, box. So here you can consider it as a blockchain that is not using the graph protocol currently, because you are not able to identify separately how many particular piece of gems are there, which color is present, and how you can separate them. So considering this as your raw data in a blockchain. Now how graph is going to help you with that is, see, you can clearly see that with graph you can easily separate all your data using the graph protocol and subgraphs, the APIs which are customizable, which you can directly implement in your dApps. Another thing is you can also have a look at the DeFi data. You can quite filter it out, whether it's for NFT data, DeFi data, social data, wallet data, network analysis. Whatever exactly you want for the graph to do, it can easily access your block data and help you in extracting the filtered data which you will be requiring for your Web3 project. Now, considering what is a subgraph. So basically subgraph is a decentralized open source API which is used for extracting data from the blockchain. It makes data extraction quite accessible for the developers as well as the end users. So here are some layers of subgraph and how it is integrated in the subgraph. Now starting from the UI layer, this is the layer where user interaction happens, and it is the layer where front-end developers interact with the users directly. Then comes the layer of the subgraph or the indexing layer. So in this layer particularly, you will be sorting out all your data which you have collected in the blockchain. It will be your raw data through which you will be indexing it and querying it. And then third layer comes the contracts, and this is the app data and protocol data you will be sorting out using the indexing layer of subgraphs. And then at the base comes the blockchain layer. So now as you can see, these are the Web3 projects. They have their data in the blockchain and it is quite unorganized and mixed one. So now this is considered as a raw data. Now when you are using the graph subgraph thing, you are using their APIs to store data in these buckets. These separate buckets are created for all the Web3 projects, for all the customized data you want, and you can filter out what exactly is your requirement up to. This is a fun example for seeing a live demonstration of how graph is indexing and segregating the data. As you can see, these gems are falling in various boxes or buckets, and it is being quite segregated. Now coming to some of the top dApps which are powered by the graph protocol or where subgraphs are being used are. So in various domains the subgraphs are being used, considering it for websites and protocols, for NFT DAOs, for DeFi, as well as for music gaming. Some of the top projects which are using the graph protocol are mentioned here. As you can see, the snapshot in the protocol domain, then there are the LAO, Juicebox DAOs. These are some of the great DAOs present in the ecosystem. Disrupt is a quite innovative NFT marketplace which is being there in the ecosystem for a while. Then there are some DeFi based applications, SushiSwap as we know, Connect, Premia, APY, and coming finally to some of the music gaming streaming services such as Premia, SushiSwap, Shutterdion, and many more. So those were some of the segregated apps, dApps depending on the domain. Now here you can see various other hundreds of dApps which are being present in the graph ecosystem, and they are using the graph protocol to build over them. Some of them everyone knows is the POAP, which we generally use for proof of attendance protocol. Then DAOs, NFT marketplaces, DeFi platforms, aggregators, DEXs, like that. If you guys want to take a picture or something, maybe you can click it. So now this is a real life example where NFT marketplace based project is using the graphs, subgraphs for filtering and sorting your data. So in this particular demo, you can see how you can filter your data and check out what all NFTs you are particularly owning in your account. This way you will be getting all your data, all the NFT collections you hold, and in a segregated way and a filtered way. Another example I am going to share you is going for a DeFi based DEX analytics platform. Here the complete platform uses the graph subgraph APIs to collect data, to extract the data, to sort the data, filter the data, as well as create charts for trading purposes. These all data, the transactions are being sorted and filtered using the graph protocol by customizing the subgraphs. Now coming to the graph network, and how it is decentralized, talking about some of the indexers, delegators, curators, as well as subgraphs. So here are some of the numbers that we have more than 400 plus indexers running currently, and it's more than 11,000 delegators which are present in the ecosystem for the graph protocol for now. And then there are curators. It's more than 2,500 plus curators present with 800 plus subgraphs. So subgraphs are the APIs. So you can see the power of the graph protocol. There are more than 800 plus APIs which are the customized projects are using currently. Now coming towards what is indexer, what is delegator, what is curator, as we have already talked about the subgraph. So now there are decentralized data economy for graph protocol particularly. So coming to that, there is indexer. So indexer stores the subgraph data forever and serving query purposes for dApps. Also it will be sharing the indexing and querying rewards with delegators and curators. This is the sole purpose of the indexers, and indexers require nodes to be running them. This can't be done by a person who is not able to run a graph node. Then comes the curators and delegators. So curators does the another work where they are making more refined, easily accessible subgraph queries, which can be used by the dApps as well as by the UI people or the front-end developers. Then comes the delegators. So delegators does need not to have a particular technical knowledge for making delegation for the platform. Delegators are the one who stake their delegation or assets to make the platform more decentralized, secure and efficient for the users. And then there are the consumers who will be directly using the dApps which are powered by graph. So there are 7, you can say, organizations or teams associated with the graph protocol, starting from the agent node, then comes the graph protocol, then is the graph foundation, graph ops, the guild, Messari, semiotic and streaming fast. These are the 7 organizations in which graph is currently associated with. Agent node is the developer team which has made the initial graph protocol. Now talking about the DAOs, as we discussed, we are having DAOs in the Web3 ecosystem where we use them as a community for governance purpose as well as for running daily operations. For this purpose, Graph has its own DAO called the Graph Advocate DAO, and the interesting thing is every one of you can be part of the DAO. There's a simple, easy application procedure for the Graph Advocates. Once you become the Graph Advocate, you can contribute in the Graph Advocate program and then gradually try to build your reputation in the ecosystem and apply for becoming a DAO member. So what exactly is the mission statement for the Graph Advocates DAO? So Graph Advocates DAO's sole purpose is to drive the decentralization, build Web3 communities and bring more and more people for adopting the Web3 ecosystem as a whole. This way we are able to empower the community users, developers, founders, everyone in the ecosystem to become part of the Graph Advocates community, Graph Advocates DAO and member in the foundation. It all is supported by the community-based initiative and through contributions of Graph Advocates. So I am also a Graph Advocate contributing here, where I am representing the Graph protocol, speaking with you guys, sharing data, and being here for 5 days discussing with people, networking with them, and sharing how they can use Graph protocol in their projects and how they can collaborate with the foundation. So Graph Advocates are spread all across the globe, seeing from the American continent, European continent, Asian continent, as well as the Australian regions, African regions. Graph Advocates are present all over the world. And if any one of you is interested in joining the program, definitely please have a look at the Graph Advocates application form available over the website. These are some of the core contributors, or you can say DAO members in the Graph Advocates. So these are all the 16 DAO members who are present in the ecosystem and those who are running the complete Graph Foundation community and leading all the initiatives taking place for Graph as well as adoption of the Web3 ecosystem as a whole. So strategic pillars, as I was discussing, there is a Graph Advocate DAO, and Graph Advocate DAO supports 2 programs. One is the Advocate program and one is the Community program. So Advocate program majorly manages the acceptance for new applications who are interested in joining the Graph Advocates DAO, as well as they are the ones who assist in providing funding support, tech support, mentor support to all the advocates who are joining the program. Then there is a separate part which considers the community grant program. In this, if any one of you is interested in growing the ecosystem or community of the graph protocol, or in any way, whether it's organizing events, speaking at sessions, being a technical developer, you can contribute in the documentation, guides, build projects, whatever community-led initiative you want to take, this all is proposed and then reviewed by the Graph Advocates DAO, and then accordingly funding is provided depending on the milestones accomplished. Even if you talk about, there are fundings for 10K, 15K, 25K as well for taking the initiative and promoting the ecosystem. If you are building a DApp based on the graph protocol, or it is for the social cause, if it's for the public goods, definitely Graph is looking to fund that as well as being partner for that to promote that for good for the society. So this is the link for you guys. If you are interested in joining the Graph protocol, you can scan the QR code, check out for jobs, network roles, community, all the ecosystem access is here itself. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
All right, any questions? No? All right, well, in that case, thanks again, and yeah.